which is truth. If education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless.
You say if education is not grounded in truth, then it's worthless? Okay, cool. Have you actually read the literature when it comes to transgender issues? Have you looked at what the education on trans stuff is? On the difference between gender and sex? On the likelihood? On the statistics when it comes to people who are trans? Have you done that, Matt? Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk about Walsh again, because apparently he gets to talk in front of a school board. Before we do that, though, let's go ahead and get into the fan art section. This one is from Lunar Muse Serenity. They said, had fun with this one, even though at the moment proportions continue to evade me. Well, I've seen your later work, Lunar Muse, and you do continue to improve over time and every time. But I do like the outfit. I do like the outfit. Wet mulch isn't ew. It's just wet mulch. Wet mulch. The next one we have is from Bexy Mama. It is a more completed version of their version of a Slime Girl Suris, complete with fishnet stockings, which may or may not make it into the final design of Slime Girl Suris. I'm not 100% certain. I will have to talk with Suzu about that. We shall see. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future episode, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of my Discord. And with all that said, let's go ahead and talk about Matty Boy. Let's reload the page.
I would thank you all for allowing me to speak to you tonight, but you tried not to allow it, yet here I am. Now, you only give us 60 seconds, so let me get to the point.
But you already spent the first 3 seconds of it, my dude.
You are all child abusers. You prey upon impressionable children and indoctrinate them into your insane ideological cult, a cult which holds many fanatical views, but none so deranged as the idea that boys are girls and girls are boys.
All right, so so apparently the school board indoctrinates kids into a cult. We only have 60 seconds of Matt Walsh to deal with, so at least he's going to be succinct. But apparently having kids learn about LGBTQ stuff in general is just being indoctrinated into a cult. Apparently he doesn't know what a cult fucking is, like, at all. When he says that girls are boys and boys are girls, that is like the most reductive and also idiotic way that I've seen any of the science or any of the ideas behind the transgender movement communicated. Why are these people so obsessed with girls and boys? Because the idea that somebody could just yeet their gender into a blender, it evades them. They don't know, or they don't care. And for me, so here's the thing. I don't for a second believe that Matt Walsh doesn't believe the bullshit he says. I think that were he a drug dealer, he would get high on his own supply if it were. But I also firmly believe that there's an ounce of this that is performative. Much like how when I am incredibly hyperbolic when talking about the various things I do on my channel, when I go into like what I'm doing right now, when I'm going... Wait, gender smoothie, that sounds gross. I mean, it could. It depends. Look, a gender smoothie is made up of gender fluid, okay, Monica? It's fine. But much like how I tend to angle myself into the realm of hyperbole whenever I am talking about issues on my channel for the sake of entertainment, that is very much performative. I believe that but I also believe the things I say. I'm compelled by my beliefs. I believe that Matt is the same way. He has his set of beliefs. He's compelled by them, but stuff like this is definitely performative. He definitely wanted this on camera.
By imposing this vile nonsense on students to the point even of forcing young girls to share locker rooms with boys, you deprive these kids of safety and privacy and something more fundamental too.
So, okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this claim here. The claim that forcing young girls to share locker rooms with young boys. What he's talking about is transgender girls sharing locker rooms with cis girls. Now, the data that we have from bathrooms actually suggests that when you have these gendered spaces and you force trans people to be in the spaces they do not identify as, that is when safety goes down. That is when sexual assaults happen, because it is more likely that a trans girl is going to be in trouble when they're in a locker room filled with boys than there is a room filled with girls to be in trouble with a single or two trans girls hopping in there. Just in general, there's a much higher chance of abuse the other way around, and vice versa. Now, why is this the case? Well, it turns out that people are cruel, and when you put people in these spaces that can be private, like if anything, this shows an issue with having public fucking locker rooms in the first place. I don't understand why we have that. When I was growing up, I didn't have to do the public locker room thing. I was able to just go into a stall. Like, we had the public locker room, and I just didn't use it. I grabbed my stuff, I went into a stall, and I did my stuff in a stall, and then I came out. So, but that's besides the point. Matt thinks that having trans girls in these gendered spaces is where problems occur. Couple of things. First of all, everything I mentioned before. The numbers show that no, it is more likely that a trans girl in a fully cis male space is in more danger than all of the fucking cis girls with the trans girl there. But more importantly than that, I don't know how many times I have to say this most basic and obvious of points. A no raping sign does not stop rape. Merely putting up a rule that says, hey, don't go here, if your aim is to actually protect children, will not stop somebody who wants to assault others from doing the things that they want to do.
Which is truth. If education is not grounded in truth, then it is worthless.
Cool. Okay. You say if education is not grounded in truth, then it's worthless? Okay, cool. Have you actually read the literature when it comes to transgender issues? Have you looked at what the education on trans stuff is? On the difference between gender and sex, on the likelihood, on the statistics when it comes to people who are trans. Have you done that, Matt? And if you have, here's my thought. Here's my belief. I believe that if you have done that, then you are no different than Ben Shapiro, who, when asked, why do you not side with the side of medical and scientific and sociological consensus, you would say, well, I think they're wrong. You cannot, out of one side of your mouth, if this is in fact a thing you've done, you cannot through one side of your mouth say, education is nothing if not based on truth, and out of the other side of your mouth go, ah yes, but I alone know better than the experts when it comes to issues of gender and how to treat people who have dysphoria or how to treat people who experience gender euphoria. You alone know better than the experts, or at least you would have to for this take to be anything other than bullshit.
Worse, it is poison. You are poison. You are predators. I can see why you try to stop us from speaking. You know that your ideas are indefensible. You silence the opposing side because you have no argument.
Or could it be that everybody knows that you're a verbose bigot and talking about your bigotry is literally your fucking job? So there is a reason to have an argument over whether or not it is responsible to platform you? I mean, I'm just saying, if we already know the shit you're going to spew, there is nothing wrong with fucking damage control here. Secondly, labeling every one of them predators, you would need some evidence to back that up. What is your evidence that somebody who supports trans people is by definition a predator? How do you come to that position? Fox of Faith, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an you fucking monster.
You can only hide under your beds like pathetic little gutless cowards hoping we shut up and go away, but we won't.
Wow, you're so strong. Oh my god. Big man Matt Walsh. Huh. He took the tough guy from the internet persona and made it an actual persona. Wow. You did it. I'm so inspired. Except the reality is I just think this is fucking funny. Dude. You spent this time, like, this is why I think this is the performative part of this. He wanted this to look like a dunking that he could just put on video on his channel as a YouTube short. He wanted this to be to make him look performatively like he's doing the work, as it were. That's what this is. He didn't want to accomplish anything here. Talking here means nothing to him. Getting 281,000 likes on this YouTube short, getting proportionally, that means it probably has about 1 million views. That was his goal. The audience was not the 30 people in this auditorium who didn't want him to speak. Oh, whoa, the censored fucking conservative he is. The goal is to get the likes and the clicks and all of that, because that is infinitely more important to him than anything else. He's using the wrong form of predator. It's actually, we're just more alpha than him. True. If I had a beta emote, this would be the time for it. How does it make sense to compare gender critical stuff with race realism? Because it's the same thing? A transphobe and someone who's gender critical have the same differences in the way they proportion their rhetoric and the way they act as a racist does to a race realist. That's the comparison. The comparison is not directly between a gender critical person and a racist or a race realist. It's a gender critical person to a transphobe is functionally no different to from a race realist to a racist.
I promise you that. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Big, strapping young lad that you are. He is a beta bitch. That is true. I agree with that one, Sweet Melody. But we're gonna peruse the comment section a little bit. Yeah, he literally said nothing there but cry again. Said gender critical is like racism, but they try to distance them because they try to distance themselves from bigotry associated with the label of racism / transphobia. Yeah, that's literally my point. My point is that the term gender critical and the term race realist exists for the same reason. It's to espouse all of the same beliefs, or enough of the same beliefs to still be in that category, but distance themselves from the baggage of the other word. Also, Cienis, thank you for being an actual fucking... War will be declared on you and your family because you decided to do that, but you did it, so here we are. Cienis, thank you for redeeming 50,001 channel points for some goddamn reason. In the third day of the new year, for a fucking oh well. You are the reason I smash my head against walls. And every one of you from your fanatical that word cult. All of you. You disgust me. But looking through the actual comments here to see if he got the end result he wanted. Mad respect for Matt Walsh. He just doesn't sit behind a microphone and complain. He goes out and does something impactful. I hadn't read the comments before I started this, but my prediction was that the entire point was to elicit the idea that he was going out and doing the good work. And the very first comment, the top voted comment, as soon as I go here, is that exact thing. Wow, the prediction, it goes true. Jesus fucking Christ. Yes, Zozo, you can DM me. 1 mega bubble. If education is not grounded in truth, then it's worthless. That's a heck of a quote. Of course it is. It's a heck of a quote that exposes why Matt Walsh doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Or rather, he does. Like, it's either that he doesn't know and he's ignorant and virulent, or he does know and this, like many other things, is a grift. I fully expect that he believes the shit he spews, though. Said, my man was told 60 seconds and he just spit straight bars for that minute. Jesus fucking Christ. It's sad how people are silenced these days when they just want to protect children. Ah, yes, Matt Walsh, famously silenced. Famously silenced. Hopefully from that, I mean, it's a small amount of people. in the comment section, but it is also the most voted comments. Gives you an idea of the mentality that comes out of this. Again, he's not doing the work. The idea was not for him to go out and talk to 30 people in an auditorium to get anything done. The idea was to talk to 30 people in a mostly empty auditorium for the sole express purpose of making it look like he's doing more, making it look like he's doing the work. Because at the end of the day, that's his job. He is a performer, not unlike me. But with that said, this is where I throw the conversation back to you guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, everyone, thank you all for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Like if you haven't already. Remember, if it's not a thing that you have done quite yet, and I can understand not doing it quite yet, you do always have the ability to piss off people like Matt Walsh further by getting one of these Suris Dakimakura body pillows in your own home. If you are doing it ironically for the cringe factor, if you are doing it serendipitously for the purpose of just having something of me in your house, or you are one of the weird people on the internet, either way, I do not wish to know. But the link is there in the description, cuddlyoctopus.com/product/Suris. If you're watching live, you can hit !Docky. As always, everyone. Venom Assassin, thank you for the follow, and insert end of video tagline here. Oh, god damn it, I just realized that Neko Girl put up the shields 2 minutes after, or 3 minutes after Sienis put up. I have to refund you for the shields, Neko Girl. It's gotta be quicker than that, I'm sorry. Anyway, as always, everyone, insert end of video tagline here.